Welcome to the 16-ounce Cinema Podcast.
Hello and welcome to 16-ounce Cinema Mario Minute. I'm TJ. I'm here with Michael.
I am Michael.
And we're continuing our marathon through all of Mario Bava's works with the 1961's Erik the Conqueror.
Which makes me think if we actually named the last episode we watched, what do you think we did?
Yeah, it was Hercules in the Haunted World. In case you want to go back and find it. Well, the title will be on there. Yeah. They'll see it. It's fine.
So the one note I got outside the movie is that this is the best Viking film ever made in Italy. And this is from like a written critic somewhere, and it made me think that I really want to watch the best Viking film from all the world. You know, one from Japan, one from China.
There's the 50s, and probably part of why this was made. In the 50s, there was a Vikings movie called The Vikings with Kirk Douglas. That was pretty good. And
was it about Vikings?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
They didn't look like Vikings at all, but because I think Kirk Douglas didn't want to grow a beard or didn't want to. Anyway.
Uh-huh.
But no, the action was really good. They had, longboat battles. But we're not talking about Kirk Douglas. No. We're talking about Mario Bava.
Yep.
And we are... I don't know, put this in my notes because I was so excited. We're at the last of these sword and sandals, or peplums, is the proper term.
But to me, I rushed through these. I loved both. I liked a lot both of them. I don't know what to say.
Well, Hercules in the Haunted World was good. And thankfully, this one actually looks good on Prime. That's been our recurring problem.
You hate it. I think it's I don't know, cutesy.
Watching it on Prime through beer goggles? Yeah. No.
It makes me feel like I'm a kid, like sitting and watching those little TVs.
Yeah, but... the little TV, yeah, but it is worse than watching a VHS, some of these works.
The decency itself is awful, but the nostalgia factor kind of makes it.
This was a nice, crisp DVD quality rip on Prime. And I was so happy for that.
Yep. One thing I will say though, my dub and sub are insanely different. So whenever it was almost 50% wrong, the words that they're speaking to the words on the sub.
So you played both together?
I couldn't turn it off. They were hard dubbed in there, or hard subbed, and the dub was there.
Oh, mine was not hard subbed.
I watched mine on YouTube. I didn't actually find it on Prime.
Yeah, it's on Prime.
Oh, I didn't find it at all. Okay, the YouTube rip I found was just they would say hey, this is a fantastic thing. And then, the written thing would be this is pretty good, huh? it was just what I had to, ignore the bottom part of the screen.
I had it on Prime, and the subtitles were... There's no problem with that.
That's weird.
It opens up with... Actually, I wrote in my notes, holy shit, that opening crawl. This thing is as long as, at least 4 Star Wars movies. Setting the time and place of the characters and everything. I was like, what the fuck?
And I guess it only in Italian it would be they didn't have anything written, right? You would just read it. Did you which one did you watch?
It was in Italian.
Oh, really?
The audio was Italian. Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
So,
cool.
But yeah, it just went on forever, and I don't honestly know. It was there was a time of war, and I don't know what it provided because I totally tuned it out.
I like the map, because they always have a hand drawn.
At the very end, it basically said that this guy Rutford got with Halford, and to make peace.
Yeah.
But then you see Rutford killing the shit out of the Vikings because he betrayed them.
Yeah.
And at this betrayal, the 2 young sons of this tribal king, Erik and Aaron, get separated.
Yep. They have cool tattoos.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, I'm the chief.
Yeah. And then we jump 20 years into the future to tell their story.
Where they're now 35-year-old men.
Right, yes. Yeah, let's see. I have some notes in there.
I wrote that Bava loves dancing hotties, and I appreciate it.
This was a really good opening battle. The action in this throughout was amazing. This action actually holds up. And also, I don't know if you thought of it, but as a dad, they had that little boy.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, he was drowning.
Actually, drowning, but then He's like paddling, dog treading through water
absolutely.
with like dead bodies and blood everywhere. Like that is a horrible thing to do. He must have been a 5-year-old boy swimming through blood and bodies.
They don't make them like they used to.
Just those Italians, man.
Yeah. It went on too for like a minute.
Yes, it went on long enough for me to say, that's weird, and then write the note, and then be like, we're still doing this? Look at that kid out of
there. And it clearly wasn't a pool, because there was clearly like waves he wasn't prepared for.
Yes.
It's just coming at him.
Yeah, I thought that kid was going down. It was so bad.
Oh, kid torture's great.
So, yeah, that's how it opens, with this bloody battle, and the boys separated at birth. And then the next bit, there's some beach feet.
Oh, there's some
dead
beach feet.
Yeah, I think they were the feet of corpses, but they were still
some beefy
nice
corpses.
young ladies, and they probably weren't actually corpses, although this is Italy. They might have chucked some in. Some cadavers are in there. And then the reigning king gets betrayed by his own people, though they think it's a Viking who does it. But they put an arrow through the king's neck.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really good effect, too.
And then the guy who shot him was like, it was this guy, and then he starts killing him.
Yes, kills the Viking.
And it was already a dead Viking, too.
Yes,
even alive,
and then they throw him in the fire.
Yeah, they're like, it must be that guy.
Not really an immolation, but,
it's kind
this
of
movie also has a ton of fog.
A lot of fog.
I think partially to cover up cheap sets.
Sure.
Speaking of sets, that Viking lair.
Oh my god! I think it was a tree. It's another tree, right? It's like a huge tree-looking thing.
The Vikings like live in caverns full of trees.
Yes.
Because I was scratching my head.
I think it was the same tree from the last movie we watched. It looked like the same fucking thing.
He was known for using his sets.
Yeah.
But I was like scratching my head. I was like, are they meant to be outside and they're just on cheap studio sets?
I have no idea.
But I don't think they were, because the lighting was all different. And actually, the Bava uses like his. I forget. I can't say the word for it. It's like chiaroscuro lighting, which with all the reds and blues and purples and greens. Like, this is his first really strong example of that style of lighting. We're going to see more of that, but we haven't seen much of his color films either. But yeah, he's really known for all these like light, soft, but multicolored.
Hey,
sets.
One of my notes says Odin owns the pussy. Why did I write that?
Because first of all, Vikings never had the Vestal Virgins. Like, Bava's just, again, no research on Vikings whatsoever.
He's just going
he doesn't really quite dress them as Vikings. He gives them tropes of like Romans and Greeks.
Yeah.
He makes them like all these sort of like warlords that come together rather than one like.
Well, that's
anything.
Sensical,
Is
right?
it? I don't know. I have no idea. But yes, and they live in tree-lined caverns.
They're elves, basically.
And they have the Vestal Virgins that hang out, and you can't touch them, or Odin demands you have to be killed.
That's right. And like the dude's like, "Hey, you're a whore, my daughter. Of course you're gonna die."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa, they're really into this one."
I loved. There's a beach walk at sunset with some nice red key lighting. It's before the 20-year jump, when like the queen is kind of lamenting.
Oh, when she finds the baby.
And you just see her, and the baby like lit in like a soft red, and the beach is on sunset but kind of fades into the darkness. It was a really good contrast. Really, really good shot. They looked like a painting.
I don't have notes for the next 30 minutes until they vote, so if you have anything to say prior to the vote.
I loved as soon as we first see the Vikings later, like they have this skull altar. There's so much like life in the set. The production design is amazing. You said, I wrote in my notes, 20 years later, Aaron is 40 years older. Why did they cast this old man? They even say, like, they don't want to vote him, like, their war chief to fight the British. Because he's too young and inexperienced, and this guy looks like 45, smoking a pack a day.
Yeah, he looks way older than the other guy.
So haggard. Yeah, the other guy's a blonde beauty of like 22 years.
And so they vote on it by throwing axes at the.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's in my notes.
And then what happens is when it's tied, they fight to the fucking death. That's great voting.
Yeah,
right there.
So that's how they vote. They put up these posts. And so it comes down to Aaron and some other war chief who's actually going to lead this war party. And how they vote is they throw their axes at the log, the erect log.
Do you think if you fuck up the throw, your vote doesn't count?
There was guys who didn't hit, and they seemed to still collect.
I think the video edited that it hit.
The video edited that they hit, so I think it's assumed that they all hit. But I would say if your vote doesn't hit the log, it shouldn't count.
Absolutely.
You're right, because then you're not Viking enough to make your vote count. I would say if we voted like this, I might actually consider voting. I'd be like, you know what? My vote does count. I threw an axe.
Yeah.
Instead of I like pressed the button or whatever. Yeah, no. What is that? Anybody could fuck with that. Nobody's fucking with an axe throw.
It's your axe. It's
right.
Your familial axe.
Yeah, count that axe.
You're the landowner. You vote for the family.
The only thing is there's no privacy in voting because you run up and yell, Aaron! And throw your axe.
So people can get really upset.
Can you imagine just like everybody has their own little like ballot box? And instead of like a tiny little thing, it's like got the stretch for you to throw. Yeah. But you just Aaron! Trump! Clinton! Trump! Just people shouting their votes in there.
That'd be great. I'd watch that on pay-per-view.
And then if it's a tie, the candidates have to fight to the death.
That's extra on pay-per-view. Yeah.
Yes, a pay-per-view. The presidential death match.
The fucking Scots showed up for Britain for some fucking reason. Like the Scottish.
The history's all jacked up, but it's cool. I think it's a pretty good epic story overall between these two brothers. Like, ended up basically ruling their separate lands. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're at war together because of Rutford, the traitor. Yep. And I like how it all comes together, and it's epic and melodramatic and really fun. The women are like not treated well. Like
70, whatever it was.
Yeah, they're not really mistreated, but they're just like non-entities.
No, yeah.
So two of them are twins, which is made. There's fun use of the. Oh yeah. No fun use, but like the story, the plot uses the fact that they're twins to make the ending come together well. Yeah. I don't know if we need to spoil. We only have a few minutes. We're not going to necessarily spoil it because I would say this is fun to watch for. Yeah. The brother thing really comes together in a well-made. The action is good, way, and it's really gory. Yeah. I had a couple other things. Mm-hmm. We already talked about the fog. There's ships in fog, which is always beautiful. The twins, anyway.
When they're on the boat, Aaron is just kind of like. What does he say? When you move the oars, he's like woof, or he stomps his feet or claps. But he's like right there while rains of arrows of fire, and he's he's so chill. And there's something like an arrow hit next to him, and he just kind of brushed it off.
No, he's at the helm and he's yelling row, row. For me, it was in Italian. I was like horror, horror.
Yeah, so you and I got different experiences.
He's holding this kind of like horizontal bar that's the size of his own arm. As the helm.
Yeah, that's right.
Just holding it to steer. Uh-huh. And an arrow, hits it right next to his hand. Yeah. And he just doesn't do anything and just pulls it out. That actually is my other question. Do you think they're actually shooting arrows at these fuckers? Because a lot of these shots, a lot of times what they would do is reverse the shot. Oh. But back in the day, there's notable instances. I think Sergio Leone did it in A Fistful of Dynamite. Akira Kurosawa is famous for doing it in Throne of Blood.
What, shooting arrows at people?
Where they actually shot arrows towards the actors.
Have they ever heard anyone?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm sure somebody did. But it looked like they were really shooting arrows because there's there's a really cool scene.
Yeah, because the arrows they look real, whereas the axe throwing looked fake, which is really hard to do.
There's that great scene where Erik is climbing the wall of the castle, and his men are shooting the arrows up for every handhold for him, which was amazing. But it kind of looked like the arrows weren't reversed.
Yeah, that couldn't have been real. That would have been oddly dangerous.
But yeah. So there's no railing kills, but a lot of rampart kills. We love railing kills, and rampart kills are cousins to that.
No, I'm not a fan of railing.
There's a lot of fire at the end, but no immolations. So kind of disappointed about that. Mm-hmm. And then my final question before we go is, so in the end, basically, Aaron makes this allegiance with Rutford. Mm-hmm. And of course, Rutford ends up betraying that allegiance. But why would he do that? He would have to know the history of Rutford killing his whole tribe and his father. Yeah. That doesn't go away.
I don't know.
Especially because there's other tribes who lived to tell the tale. Yeah. So it didn't make any sense that he should ally with this guy at all. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that.
No, I have no answer for that whatsoever.
All right, so yeah, it's a fun one. It's on Prime and DVD quality. So that's our Mario Minute. See ya.
Later.